This is probably the hardest moment of my morning, getting out of my warm sheets. But we all have our inner battles to face, so this was mine today. I'm joking. This is an approximative of my morning routine that I like to do to feel my best. And what do I mean by feeling my best? At each phase of our lives, we are going to need something different. Just like each of us unique souls have different needs in our day-to-day. Recently, I've been doing a lot of inner energy work, and I've been trying to change patterns that are appearing in my life due to a lack of self-love and direction. So that's where my morning routine comes into play. Everything I do is with the intention to set my energy in the direction I'd like for the day, to call in more of what I desire. So how do all of these words translate into actions? Well, the first thing I like to do in the morning is to make myself a hot drink. I usually will just drink hot water. And if I need some extra support for my body that day, I'll add something in it. I run really cold, so sometimes I'll add in turmeric and black pepper, and ginger, lots of warming spices, especially now we're in the middle of winter and it's so cold outside. I'll then sip on my tea, taking a couple moments just to sip it intentionally and burn my mouth on it. This happens way too often than I would like. But just taking some time to intentionally drink water and hydrate and be quiet. Then I'll normally move into a meditation. It depends on what I'm feeling in that day. Sometimes I'll listen to a guided meditation. Sometimes I'll listen to some binaural beats or frequency. It really just depends on what I'm working on and what I'd like to anchor in for that day. And meditating is such an essential practice for me. I notice all the time how my day goes differently when I don't meditate, how reactive I am, how anxious I am. And it's crazy how just the smallest of practices where you sit in silence has the most profound impact. I will usually meditate anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and then I'll always take a moment at the end of my meditation to name all the things that I'm grateful for and just thank my body, my mind, my spirit, the universe, whatever you like to call it, for another great day. So after I meditate, I will either do some sort of breath work, sometimes a workout. Oftentimes I'll do yoga. Recently I've been really into Ashtanga yoga, and I've been practicing that every morning. Or I'll go for a walk, something just to activate my body. I also really enjoy filtering my water. This isn't the best filter ever, but it's affordable and it does the job, but it takes ages for the water to actually filter through. So every free moment I have, I like to fill it with water. So this morning, I was actually a little short on time. So instead of doing a full Ashtanga practice or a longer walk, I decided just to get on my mat and move my body in whatever way feels good. I am a registered yoga teacher, so I know how to move my body and what I need for the moment and the poses that can give me exactly what I need. And I think the best thing that comes from a daily yoga practice, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour long, is just the practice of joining your breath with your movement, waking up your fascia, so the interconnected web of fibers that holds your body together, and hydrating your spine. So cat-cow, that really helps hydrate your spine, helps get everything moving. If I'm practicing yoga for only 10 to 15 minutes, it's going to be mainly focused on waking up my body, practicing breathing deeply down into my lower belly, and becoming a little bit more into the present moment. However, I find longer practices, anything from 30 minutes and longer, that's where I'm able to really drop into the present moment, which is like the sweetest part about yoga. It brings you so beautifully into your heart and just into the feeling of being alive and being so grateful to be alive. I've recently started doing something called morning pages, which is basically where you wake up in the morning and you write down 3 full pages of whatever is in your mind. And what this is really supposed to help is, first of all, clearing out your mind in the morning so you don't carry any of that messiness or the wishy-washiness into your day. But it can also help with clearing your voice and feeling confident and speaking without hesitation, which is something that I'd really like to work on, especially as a yoga teacher and as someone who's often speaking in front of groups of people. You're always at the scrutiny of other people's judgments, and I have found that there are so many parts within myself that need more love and self-love at that. I need to really work on giving myself the love that's going to make me blossom into my most confident version of myself. And what that looks like for me is just a whole bunch of validation and reassurance that I am a good person and I have good intentions. As silly as it seems, somewhere along the way I got the impression that I was bad, I was no good, and I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't have anything in life because I'm worthless. And this is a whole process of getting through those belief systems. Even when you think you've moved through it, there's another layer to discover within the subconscious. So I've been really diving into those practices, especially with this morning pages practice. Every single time I feel any sort of anxiety arise or hesitation or whatever it may be, I practice being there for myself and giving myself the reassurance, just like any caregiver would have given you as a child. When I'm finished with that, I will usually go back into my room and change into the clothes that I'll be wearing for the day. Of course, for the purposes of this video, I was already wearing something pretty put together, but normally it's just a pair of really, really warm sweats or even like a fuzzy onesie just for me to crawl out of bed. But I always like to put something on that I know is going to make me more productive, whether I actually have work that day or if I'm just working on things on my computer. And I've made an intention to put a little bit more effort into my hair or my makeup or whatever it is, just to tell my body that, hey, I'm here to take care of you and I'm here to beautify you, and it's okay to feel beautiful. It's okay to want to dress up and be a certain version of yourself. Once we start to allow ourselves to experience all these different archetypes or a different style or a different way of makeup, it really starts busting out of all those limitations that we can often create for ourselves, those boxes we can force ourselves to live in, and just reinstates the fact that we are totally free and we are the creators of our lives. And yeah, that's a lot for a morning makeup situation, but I think that way, that's how my brain works, and so that's the intention behind me putting on a pair of earrings and getting ready. A practice that I absolutely love doing in the mornings, normally first thing in the morning, is oil pulling. I use a really high quality coconut oil and I just scoop a big old spoonful, put it in my mouth, wait 15 minutes and let it dissolve. This morning I actually did not have time to do it, but I wanted to mention it because it really helps with your teeth cleanliness in addition to brushing and flossing, and it just feels really good. It feels like you're detoxifying. Then I heated myself up some ginger tea. My boyfriend, he loves ginger tea and he made a huge batch of it in the beginning of the week. So all we have to do in the morning is heat it up. And again, that helps me stay warm inside of my body and without. And then I had made this pea soup. It looks totally unappetizing right now in the middle of the camera trying to focus, but trust me, it was really good. I don't really take a lot of pills, but recently I've been taking these 2 pills. This first one is called Ultra Virex. I hope you can see that well. It's just a bunch of different herbs. like red rooted sage, boncet, kangzu, sweet violet, wheatgrass, a bunch of different things that really help me whenever I feel like I have a little bit of a cold or like a little bit of scratch in my throat or anything. I take this and it really seems to just kick it in the butt. And also if you have already fallen sick, that I think of it almost as like an antibiotic. It's not an antibiotic, but it just kills whatever you have. Then this one is just an organic multivitamin. And I really like using this one because sometimes I can't get the diversity of foods that I would want, or I like don't have the time to fully prepare everything based on my schedule and spontaneous events and whatnot. So the weeks that I'm not eating as well as I would like, I like to include that in my diet just to keep everything really nice and rounded out. The very last thing that I do in my morning routine is sit down and eat. And this is the last moment of my morning where I like to be in silence. I always thank my food, thank the farmers, thank the groceries, everywhere and every person that it took to get this food on my plate or in my bowl. And then I'll just sit in silence and try to intentionally enjoy my food. I can't say it's always like this. My boyfriend loves to watch things as we eat, so we often have this push and pull of do we sit in silence or do we watch something. But this morning I was lucky enough to have some time to myself, and I find my food just digests so much better when I sit with it and I chew intentionally and I wait an instant before just shoveling food mindlessly into my mouth. And after that, that's pretty much my morning routine. I'll throw my dishes in the dishwasher if I have time, but to be honest, I often just put them in the sink and then deal with it when it comes down to dinner or lunchtime if I'm home. And now I feel normally much better in my mind, in my spirit, in my body, and ready to dive into my day no matter what I'm doing. If I have work that day, if I'm just hanging out around the house, I just feel a little bit more open, a little bit more grounded, and definitely less reactive, which helps me get through the day and any situation that arises. So have a good one. Thanks for watching.